Hi there. So, I wanted to address some of the just crazy going on in the collecting community recently with Mallow and some other things. So, a little while ago on Yahoo Japan auctions, there was a second Mallow sold. We know about the one Dio has because he unboxed it on my channel. Another one came up. Another two came up on Yahoo Japan auctions. One the community was pretty sure was fake because it had a mixed listing. They were calling Mallow Boshi and Boshi Mallow, and it didn't go for a whole lot. And I hope no one got scammed on that one. But there was another one that sold for 7,000, which is significantly less than the 22 that Dio spent. But then we saw an eBay listing go up with the pictures from the auction. And the seller supposedly was claiming that he had won the auction from Yahoo Japan and was immediately flipping it on the eBay market. Now that happens all the time. We see that with tons of things in our collecting sphere. It's just the nature of the business. People do it all the time. I haven't done it personally. I have sold things that I've held on to for a while from Japan, but I haven't expressly bought something or explicitly bought something from Japan to sell here in the United States. Um, I don't care about that part. The auction had a lot of red flags. Uh, First of all, he didn't have the item. There's no way he could have had the item because he won it like a day ago. And it takes a long time for things to get from Japan, regardless of what shipping service you use. Even if you overnight it, um, it takes a minute for it takes a while for the proxy service, however you bought it, to get the item in, package it, and send it to you. Supposedly, the seller says he has it now. The auction ended for over $35,000, which even more so crazy than the 22K, the previous record for the plush. But yeah, there was a lot of red flags. He called me out in the auction, which a lot of people pointed out. Whatever. I kind of brought attention to the whole plush in the first place, I guess, through that one picture that we only had for a long time. And whether it was a custom or not, it was a whole thing. We all know the legend, the myth, right? And then finally one came up for auction. So yeah, 2021's been a pretty wild ride, especially for that plush. We will probably see a few more pop up now that they're garnering such insane prices. Um, yeah, I've kind of resigned myself to never have that plush because I don't have that kind of money to drop off. Even if I started selling a bunch of things, there was a couple other things that I was trying to sell for privately for, yeah, I'm not going to really disclose what I was going after, but I was thinking maybe, but yeah, it's just too much to put down on a plush for someone with 5 kids and a mortgage, things like that. Um, but yeah, it's more of a young man's market these days, um, where you have disposable income and not a whole lot of bills to pay. Then you've got a lot of cash that is just disposable, and you can do that kind of stuff. But with someone with kids, that's like a down payment on a kid's car or a college education start or something like that. So um, yeah, not really my cup of tea paying that much for anything really anyway. For the longest time, I've always said that most of the stuff that I've bought has not exceeded $500. That still pretty much holds true. I don't really exceed that. That just seems like um, it's just too much. Um, like the Bowser statue, I think is the most expensive things that I've bought recently that was over that. And that's payment plan. I can get a payment plan on that, but on a plush on eBay, you don't. I guess you can set up a payment plan, but that would be crazy. Um, so yeah, I mean, the other thing that was the major problem with the auction was that he was zero feedback seller, had this excuse that like eBay wouldn't let him use his old account or something, and it was weird. So he could only start it at 500, and he was obviously reluctant to start such rare plush, especially after dropping $7,000. But it didn't matter very long. I think it was up to 10 grand in like a day. But in the auction, he said he could end the auction at any time for a better offer or whatever. And that part really turned me off. That's not something that honorable sellers do. Reputable sellers, they don't say that kind of stuff in their auctions where it's like, well, I'll offer this up for sale, but if someone gives me a better offer, then and that made me extremely hesitant to bid anyway. But then it went way too high, so I was like, whatever. Um, and yeah, we don't know where this guy's coming from. We still don't know if the buyer, well, we don't know who the buyer is, and we don't know if he or she will actually get the plush. The seller says that it arrived from Japan. Still seems kind of early to get it from Japan, in my opinion. But I mean, if they use like FedEx or something, who knows? But yeah, so that's been happening. And then just yesterday, this crazy guy, Nicholas, he's on Instagram claiming that he found the Toy Site 2000 Toy Fair Darunia prototype. And if you haven't seen that, I'm going to try to get a picture of it on the video. But like he claimed, well, he was messaging a bunch of us Zelda collectors about, do we know anyone that has the figure? Do you know anyone that has it? He was claiming he'll pay people to direct him to the person or a way to buy the actual figure. And of course, none of us knew. It's kind of lost to the ages. I mean, one of the young Zelda showed up carded in a Goodwill or something like that. It was yeah. So that was crazy. So he's been messaging us about how to do that, and then all of a sudden yesterday he's like, I found it. Well, then he shows this picture of a custom-made Darunia that he supposedly made. He's been making custom figures for a while, apparently, of Dragon Ball Z figures, and scamming people with those. So he shows us this, elementary school project, art project that he made and he's trying to pass it off as the Toy Site Darunia. Well, the two don't look anything alike, obviously. But then he posted on eBay saying it's the Toy Site Darunia. Well, that auction already has something like $2,000 attributed to it. Are people legitimately getting fooled by this guy? I hope not. But here's the rub. He has multiple eBay accounts, so he could easily be bidding up his own item. He has low feedback too. It's like 25 feedback. And he's burned a lot of accounts already. We've been digging into this guy's history a little bit. One of my good friends has been going pretty deep. There's a whole Reddit thread on him making Dragon Ball Z. It's the same scam. He'll claim to have these rare prototypes that he's made himself, try to sell them as such, and then never send the person the item when they win the eBay bid, when they win the eBay auction. So just kind of a mess these days in the collecting realm. It kind of makes me sad, but really the baseline is, if someone else in America got a Mallow, good for them. Paid too much for it, in my opinion, but it's cool that there's another person in America that has it. Being a Japanese only plush, it's kind of cool that these things are coming over here. About the Darunia, I really hope that if you see this and you're bidding, you're not going to get that. You probably won't even get the custom, but it's not the prototype. So yeah. So look out. Be cautious. Be safe with your collecting, with your budget. I don't like hearing stories about people getting burned, so I try to help people with that. I try to prevent that, because once you're burned once, I've been burned on eBay before. You don't want it to happen again. You don't want it to happen to other people. So definitely look out. Watch your red flags. Make sure you're spending your money wisely. I mean, to roll the dice with $35K on a zero bidder or a zero feedback seller on eBay, I don't know. not my. I would not advise it, but hopefully it all works out in the end. But yeah, let's hope in the coming weeks that we see less of this garbage, and we see more of people getting items that they want. All right, have a good one. Thanks for watching.